What's up guys, welcome back to A Bug's Nightmare. For today's video, I'm going to be cleaning up this pot of Heliamphora heterodoxa crossed minor cherry top. It's been overgrown by this live sphagnum moss, and since the pitchers aren't that tall to begin with, you could barely see them at this point. To start this one, I'm just going to peel away all the live moss around the outside, and then after that I'll pick out the moss that's grown in between the pitchers. Luckily, this isn't usually that difficult because the live moss comes out in nice big chunks pretty easily, but since Heliamphora pitchers are very brittle, you still have to be careful. Once you've gotten rid of all the live moss, you can start to cut away or peel away the dead pitchers. To do this, I like to support the growth point that the pitcher is attached to and then gently pull down. Usually the pitcher, if it's ready to come off, will just pop right off without doing any damage to the growth point or to any other pitchers on that plant. Make sure to remove as much dead tissue as possible because you don't want it to rot later on once the moss starts to grow again. Once you're satisfied with your cleanup job, you can begin to re-add the top layer. I had initially planted this plant a little bit low in the pot, so I just raised it up a little bit right there so it doesn't quickly get overgrown again, and then I started to add the sphagnum moss back in, starting from the outside. This helps support all the growth points that were relying on the sphagnum moss to keep themselves upright beforehand. Make sure to cover all of the growth points since they have been used to being covered with the moss, and now they're going to be exposed to open air and you don't want them to dry out. One of the best parts about cleaning up any pot that's been overgrown with live sphagnum moss is that you'll have a decent chunk of moss left over afterwards to use on your other plants. Once you're done, be sure to water the plant as usual with any repot or changing of a top dressing because you want to make sure all of the plant roots are in contact with moist media. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please click like, and if you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, drop a comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Also, don't forget to click subscribe and hit that notification bell icon so you don't miss out on any of the other videos that are coming out soon. Thanks again and see you next time on A Bug's Nightmare.